hope you're having an amazing day. So what we're doing today is a chit chat get ready with me, and we're gonna be talking about 90s kids, like memories, childhood movies, cartoons, anything that came to mind. And honestly, getting ready for this video was so much fun because I got to just visit like my inner child again and just remember like all the things that I used to watch and stuff. If you enjoy and if you're interested, just keep on watching. So for this chit chat get ready with me, what better palette to get ready with but my Nickelodeon eyeshadow palette. And I've talked about this quite a few times on my channel. It's really beautiful. Topic is always having sales on their website. So this is the palette we're going to be working with. I thought it fit so well into this theme. Started with this, and let's start talking about books. This is actually what inspired this video, because one day I was thinking like, you know, around my 20s, I am wearing chapsticks if it looks weird. Yeah, I always say that I don't like reading until recently. But what I forgot was that when I was little, I actually used to always buy Junie B books. And if you're familiar with Junie B, she's like this girl, she's in, I'm guessing, elementary school or something. And she's always getting into something, and she talks about like what she's thinking. It was just super relatable because she was like a big sister and stuff, and she was just really funny. So I used to have like a whole like collection of her books, and then I got rid of them as I got older because I didn't read them anymore. So if you used to read Junie B books, let me know down below, because that was just a cute little, like, it was just a cute little storyline that they kept going and stuff. Other books that I was into in school in elementary was goosebump books, and for some reason in high school, that's like what I used to go for, was like mystery and like weird books, because those were just the most interesting. So Goosebumps, I used to own one book. It was called Say Cheese and Die. So I watched that one. As I got older, me and my sister started watching like the shows and stuff. They don't give them anymore. I don't know why. They were so good. They were creepy, but like that's like the only kind of scary thing that I could watch because I don't watch scary movies. Yeah, so Goosebump books, they're just so weird and so interesting. Only Goosebump book I owned. All the others, I used to read them in school, like whatever they had. Just Goosebumps is just an amazing thing. Like, I don't really like the movies they came out with recently, but I love the shows, like the original ones are really good. Another thing was the elementary book fair. And so I'm sure everyone remembers they used to hand out these like newspaper looking books, like little like newspaper thing, and it was like little booklets, and they used to tell you like what books are going to be selling and what else is going to be there. And I used to keep those books and I used to collect them because I just wanted to remember like what kind of books they were selling and stuff. So cool. I used to love those books. Like sometimes I would just reach into my pile that I have like stacked up, and I used to just look at them. I always collected stuff like for example, J14 magazine. I used to collect so many of those J14 magazines. I always collect stuff for some reason. So yeah, so those like book fairs, they were like my jam. Even though sometimes I didn't buy anything, we used to have like little walkthroughs through the library, and then if you had money, you know, you could just buy stuff. And I remember they had like the scented pencils and like furry pencils and so many cool stuff, and I think you could buy stickers. I remember once I did buy a book, but it was a joke book, and it looked like a cell phone, and then it fell apart, so it wasn't that good, but it was so funny. I always like joke books and stuff. Yeah, let me know if you ever went to the book fair. Now let's move on to channel 28. So my grandma didn't have cable, so when she used to take care of us, channel 28 was like our jam because they had all the shows. But like the ones that I remember clearly watching was like Clifford, the big red dog. I always wish that he was my dog, so I could have a big dog just like taking me places and stuff. That show was amazing. Which one else? We also had, you know, Power Rangers occasionally. I'm not really like a big Power Rangers fan, but whenever it was on, I think it was channel 28. Yeah, we would watch that. We would watch Yu-Gi-Oh. Between the Lions was such a fave. It was hilarious when it would get to the part with cliffhanger, because if you remember, like, it's this guy, he's on a cliff, and it's like he never, like, he always, like, he's just hanging there, like, for a lot of shows. And sometimes, like, people would come and try to help him, and there was just like that little segment, but he would always end up back on the cliff, and it was just funny the way that it would happen. So cliffhanger, a fave in that little segment, and the lines were really cool and stuff. Another one, Caillou, he had like a big head. So I'm gonna go into orange. It's like the typical like Nickelodeon shade. I used to also watch Zaboomafoo, which is the one with the like monkey, talking monkey, and they lived, it was like two brothers that lived in a zoo or something place where there's like a bunch of desert. I actually used to have a crush on the one with the green shirt. I used to have a crush on a lot of people when I was smaller and into my high school years and into my early adult years and still now. But so you're gonna see that's like a theme in here. I used to have a crush on the one with the green shirt, and then my sister had a crush on the one with the blue shirt, and it was just interesting because you got to learn about like animals and stuff. I'm just gonna go into that burgundy shade. I have no idea what kind of eye look I'm doing. Arthur was a good one. That's probably like one of my favorite ones that would come out. Dragon Tails, that one has to be my favorite too. I just love like the imagination, and it just like gets you thinking. It was just so interesting. And then all the dragons, and then they would like call them through this like stone or something that they had. It was like a dragon scale, and they had so many cool adventures and stuff. I really enjoyed that show as well. Well, Pokemon, that's how we first got into Pokemon. I'm not like a huge like psycho fan for it. I'm like, oh, okay, I acknowledge it. We went to watch the new Pokemon movie, and you know, I don't know all the characters and stuff, but it was interesting. Whatever was on, we would watch. It was just like kind of boring because my grandma didn't have cable. Magic School Bus, another good one. So yeah, so channel 28, I believe it was 28 on like the regular channels. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was 28. I believe that now it's like, oh, also Sesame Street. I didn't write that down, but yeah, Sesame Street was a jam too. My favorite segment was like Elmo and the Cookie Monster. Next channel I wrote down was channel 11, which was hosting The Simpsons and King of the Hill. Both shows are amazing. Nickelodeon, we're using their palette. They had so many good shows. The first one I'm going to talk about is The Rugrats with The Simpsons and King of the Hill on channel 11. All three of them, me and my boyfriend continuously still watch all of them. Specifically for the Rugrats, we used to own like those old school like orange VHS tapes, and it's so cool because this palette actually looks like one. We used to own one, and the episode was like the one when they go to the Grand Canyon and there's like these big tire place and they get stuck there or something. Yeah, so that was the episode that was on there because they were going on a vacation or something. My favorite like Rugrats movie is the one when they go to Paris. Cute. And they occasionally still give it on TV actually. But yeah, so like the one they go to Paris. I know there's another one, but that one's my favorite. That's like the one when Chucky wants a mom, and it's like kind of sad, but the movie's so good. Yeah, and then my favorite character was Angelica. I don't know why. She was like the mean one, but because she had her Barbie. I forgot what her Barbie was called. It was like a Barbie with like 3 little hairs or something. It was really funny. Rats. Another one is Invader Zim. We learned yesterday that they're actually gonna start making new episodes of Invader Zim, and they're gonna be on Netflix apparently. That's what my boyfriend told me. Yeah, so Invader Zim, and my favorite character was the little green one. There was Jimmy Neutron, which was my fave as well because I don't know, I just liked it. And my favorite movie was the one when the parents get abducted by aliens and then the aliens want to eat them. And I love the part when they start like making stuff out of the rides at the theme park or something, and then they go into space, and it just looks so awesome. So that's like my favorite movie from Jimmy Neutron. I also used to watch like The Fairly Odd Parents. I still watch it sometimes. Not a fan of the movie that came out, but yeah, that's another one. Disney is gonna be like the big one, because Disney was like my favorite channel. And on a Disney note, I actually for a long time, my family used to take me to Disneyland for my birthday every single year. For a long time, for my birthday, we used to go to Disneyland because that was just my jam. And we used to go, and I used to have this little pink backpack, and I used to take like a sandwich or whatever, or water in there. And then I used to take my Game Boy, old school Game Boy. We're gonna talk about that right now because I actually still have it. And I didn't bring anything that I have out, because a lot of these things I still have, like from old school like games, computer games and stuff. But I didn't want to like, I don't know, I forgot to take them out. So I'm gonna take pictures of them and I'll just put them on the screen so you could see. But the old school Game Boy, we'll touch on that in a little bit because that had its own thing. But I used to play with it like during the lines, because the lines are too long sometimes, especially for Peter Pan. Specifically that one, I remember always whipping out my Game Boy because I knew the line was gonna take a while. And I had like the old school like Mario Brothers game, and I used to just play it in the line, and then it used to in my mind like make it go faster. So let's talk about Disney. So Disney had so many shows. There was The Proud Family. I used to love that show so much. Supposedly they're gonna bring it back, but I don't know about that. I don't know how to feel about that because it's different. Wizards of Waverly Place, that one's such a good show. I used to have a crush on her brother. A lot of the names I already forgot because it's been a long time since I watched them. I used to have a crush on her like nerdy brother for some reason. And then there was Dog with the Blog for a while. That was like my show that I used to watch at night because it always came out at the same time, probably like 10, I'm guessing 10 and 10:30. I also had House of Mouse, which is another great one, and that was like Mickey Mouse, and then all the characters from the other Disney movies and stuff would come out, and it was like this place where they used to eat and then play like old Mickey Mouse episodes and stuff. Kim Possible, that was my sister's favorite show. There's also a Buzz Lightyear show, which was like the cartoon of just Buzz Lightyear when he's working like in Star Command or whatever. That one was pretty good. Recess was one of my favorites. I used to love that show. Also Xenon, the Xenon movies of the girl from space that she lives up there and then she goes to Earth and she tries to live a normal life. Those are my favorite movies. My favorite show, which was That's So Raven, where she's psychic and then she gets into a bunch of stuff. That one's pretty funny. I know they revamped it and they did Raven's Home. That show was okay. I don't really watch it anymore. Lizzie McGuire, I love the movie. If you haven't watched it, it's really cute. I used to watch Dave the Barbarian, which was really funny. Lilo and Stitch show and the movie are great. Hannah Montana was like my favorite show to watch. And those are like all like the Disney shows that I kind of remember liking. Okay, so I did my eyes, I did my liner. Let's go into Cartoon Network. So Cartoon Network, I believe, also had Boomerang. All of this actually just had a whole list of movies and shows, but I kind of wanted to make it a little more organized. The Virgo in me just could not just randomly spit out that, because I know like by channels. So my boyfriend helped me with like kind of remembering what channels they are from or whatever. Powerpuff Girls were like my fave. My favorite character was Bubbles. She was just so cute. My sister was, she couldn't pick between Buttercup and Blossom, but her fave most of the time was Blossom. Love Scooby-Doo, all the cartoons and stuff. I love both of the movies. I did go in with La Faire Cream, which I talked about in my empties video as well. I'm just gonna go in with my H&M primer and just put in the areas where I get oily. So I used to love like Scooby-Doo. I love the like regular, like those movies that came out. There was Ed, Ed and Eddie, which is a funny show. It was just so funny, and Plank, and they're just so funny. And then Ed, he was just kind of dumb. Like he used to always like do dumb stuff, and it was just hilarious. And that one was a good one. The Jetsons, I don't watch it anymore. I know sometimes they used to give it on TV, and you know, when you're older, I don't know, I can't like watch the cartoons anymore, just because I'm like, it kind of ruins it for me, because back then it's like, oh my god, this is so cool, and then now that I'm older, I'm like, oh. Courage the Cowardly Dog. Let me know if you used to like that show, because that show used to actually creep me out. I don't know, I used to like Goosebumps and stuff, so again, like I'm not into like scary movies and stuff, so like Goosebumps I could watch. I don't know if it's because I watch it with my sister. Okay, I don't know what these weird dots are. I used to watch it with my sister and stuff, the Goosebumps, because she was into it. Yeah, in the beginning she wasn't, because she was like scared of it. She was like, what is this thing? What's going on? The first ever Goosebumps, just like random, first Goosebumps show that we watched was the one with the mask. Let me know if you watched that one. That one was creepy. That was like the one that got us like into it. But my sister was scared of that one because it was kind of creepy, especially like those creepy endings that R.L. Stein would put. It used to creep us out. So let's get back to the topic at hand, which is Courage the Cowardly Dog. That show creeped me out, because they lived in the middle of nowhere with their dog, and they never knew what was going on, and then the dog is the one that had to save them, and then all these creepy stuff would happen. Like creepy people would come and invade and try to take them, and it was just so, I don't know, I could not watch that show. Like I used to watch it sometimes, but like not my favorite. That one was just creepy. Like even now I can't watch it, because I don't know, it just gives me some kind of vibe. Like, what is going on? Why are you living in the middle of nowhere? Like, where is everyone? Yeah, so that one was interesting. It's Doug, and Doug, it's like those, you know, people like have crushes on cartoons and stuff. Like I know people have crushes on like Mulan's guy, I don't know his name, in Mulan. And if you didn't know, there's gonna be a movie coming out soon. So for me, I had a crush on Doug, the character, for some reason, because in high school I used to have a crush on this guy for many years, and he reminded me of him because he was really pale, and the way he dressed and stuff. I don't know what's going on with me, like what? But just the show in general is amazing. If you haven't watched that show, Doug, even like at this age I would watch it. Sometimes I would put it on. Goosebumps, as I mentioned already like a million times. Goosebumps. So now let's get into like some random stuff that I remember as a kid. And the first one is Bill Nye the Science Guy. I'm sure everybody knows who he is. I used to love it, and especially like when teachers would put it on at school and stuff. It was so fun to watch, and like it's like he made it fun, so you actually learn something. Another thing is Blockbuster, and they did like close down all of them, I believe. All the Blockbusters, that's where they used to have like the movies and DVDs and music and stuff. Every movie, two specific movies that I remember always reaching for and always having my mom rent for me is one, The Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original with Jim Carrey. Yeah, that movie, I used to make her rent it all the time, and even now at this age, we watched it recently. It's just such a classic movie, and I love watching it. I love like the ending, and it's just so cute. Normally I wasn't a fan of the cartoon one that came out last year. Went to watch it, it was super short and I didn't like it at all, but the original forever will be my favorite. If you go to Universal Studios, in the studio tour, they actually still have some of the sets from the Grinch still up. So if you ever visit, you can see, like, you pass by it. So if you are a fan of that movie, yeah, that's so cool. And the second movie that I would always tell her to rent for me, for some reason, like now I'm not really that into it. Well, I guess like I love the concept. Is Chicken Run. That was my favorite. I remember I used to always put it on, just love on it, or like any like Powerpuff Girl situation, I used to make a rent for me. A big fan of the Blockbuster. It was just fun to walk around and look at everything that they had, and it was just fun, and it was some great memories in the Blockbusters. Too bad that they got rid of them. I mean, now everything's online and stuff, but it's a good memory to have. Like, we're lucky that we grew up with that, because kids now, you know, they'll never know what a Blockbuster is. They'll never know like the fun in going and, you know, Redbox and the Redbox stuff, like things that they have outside of like liquor stores and stuff. I guess that's like a way, but it's not the same experience. So I'm so lucky that I have that memory. Move into games, and the first one in this section is actually one that you just needed pen and paper and your imagination, and it was MASH. So you would put MASH at the top, M-A-S-H. M usually, you know, there's different versions of this. So M usually for me and my sister would be mansion. So the MASH letters are like the places you were gonna live. It's kind of like you were telling your own future and stuff. But me and my sister would make it fun where we would choose it for each other. Like choose a guy, choose the where you're gonna live, and choose what the letters meant and stuff. So for example, M was mansion, right? A was apartment. Let me know if you played it differently. And S was shack. H was house. So whatever it landed on, right? Okay. In the middle, you put a square and a circle. Oh no, wait. You put a square, and then you on the sides of the square. I'm gonna try to put an example. You put, like, for example, one of them, you could put some kind of category. Sometimes we would extend MASH, like we would just make it our own and add a bunch of stuff. Like, for example, one of the sections would be who your future husband is, and you could put 3 lines or whatever, or you could put more than that. We would just make it our own. And so who's your future husband? So I would pick at least one of them for her, and it would be like some random guy, whatever that we always talk about. Someone that she doesn't like. So like if it lands on it, it will be hilarious, because then I'm like, ah, that's your future. So yeah. So then on the other side, it would be like what kind of car you're gonna drive, what's your favorite car, a limo, a cart, whatever. And then in the bottom, it was how many kids you're gonna have. So we would put like 1,000, 0, and 1 or whatever. And then in the middle, you used to put like the circle, and like, okay, tell me when to stop. And then when they tell you, you count how many dots you could put across. And then from there, you start at M and you count, and then whatever it lands on, that number, you cross it out. And whatever is left at the end is their future. The Game Boy. So I still have my Game Boy. It's like the old school one. It's a classic. I remember, I think my grandpa got it for me, because, oh my god, I'm so glad, because it was so useful for me. Like, I remember I used to like win all the levels, and then like Mario Brothers for me is like classic amazingness. I love like that concept. I love Mario Kart. I get super competitive, so don't ask me to play with you, because I will play till the death until I win. So yeah, like Mario Kart, I love. Memory that I remember specifically with my Game Boy is whenever we would go out at night, I would bring my Game Boy, but I couldn't see because we were in the car. Everything's gonna be linked down below, so if you want to know what I'm using, whatever, it's gonna be down there, just in case, you know, I'm not telling you. I remember, like, let's pretend this is a Game Boy, right? So I used to take in the car, and back then the original Game Boys didn't have light, like the DS's nowadays and stuff, and phones and stuff. So it was just a screen, but if there's no light, you can't play. But I know a lot of people probably did this, but I used to like get my Game Boy, And while my mom was driving, I used to like put it up because that's like the lighting from the back of the car, like the light would hit and then I could see what I'm doing. Yep. Yep. The specific memory of playing in the car, because that was the only way I could do it, was to raise it up and literally that whole time, or like try to catch like one of the street lights, like whenever she was at a red light. The Mario Brothers games, like I said, was my favorite, but my least favorite like little course or whatever was when they were underwater, when Mario or Luigi was underwater. I hate those levels when they're underwater. It's just like, ugh, I just don't like it. One, I don't know how to swim, and two, he was just moving way too slow for me, where the dumb fish would always bite me and then I would lose another life. So that's just not my favorite one. Playing with computer, I was like definitely a big like computer person. I think it was before my Game Boy and stuff, but I used to love playing on the computer, like the old school ones, and I still have all the games actually. And one specific one that I remember not liking was one by Barbie, and it was like this it's like a mystery one, so you're supposed to like find all the clues and stuff, and it doesn't help you out, doesn't give you anything. You're supposed to know where to go and who to talk to. Oh my gosh, I hated that game, and I hated that I hated that game because I wanted to play it so bad, and I would try, but I could never figure it out. I'm not like a mystery person, so that's why I think if I ever go into like those escape rooms, oh lord, I'll be stuck in there forever, because I'm not like, if you don't help me out, I don't think I could figure it out. Yeah, like if I don't have anything to work on or work with, I don't know. Like with that game especially, like I could never understand it. But with Mario, the Mario Brothers games, like there's one where you can move around. I think it was Mario 64 or something, where you move around and you kind of figure it out. Those I figured out. But the Barbie one, I don't even know who it was that was doing all this stuff. I don't know who was sending her or who killed who. Like I have no idea. But yeah, so that one's one that I hated playing. I also had another like cooking game with Mickey Mouse and Minnie. I had a decorating game with the Cinderella one where you could decorate the rooms whatever way you wanted. That one was one of my favorites. Another one was a Barbie one where you get to dress her up and do her makeup and do her nails. I love that one. I love dressing her up. Like she would go on dates and stuff, and oh my god. But that's also the game that gave me a lot of heartache, because for some reason like sometimes it didn't want to work like on the computer, so I would tell my mom like I want to play it, like why isn't it working, and then she would try to like fix it, but for some reason that game gave me a lot of problems. And yeah, so the Barbie game was my favorite. Unfortunately, for some reason sometimes it wouldn't work. Yeah, so that one, and then there was another like princess one where it was like a diary, and that one was really amazing as well. So that's it for like games and stuff. The next thing is just some random stuff that I can remember. So like the Disney crossovers, let me know if you remember that. It was when like all the characters, like they would switch from different shows. Let's say like Hannah Montana would switch with Sweet Life on Deck, or Sweet Life with Zach and Cody, which I completely forgot to mention, and Life with Derek. Oh my god, I love those shows so much. They were just so funny, like, and so entertaining. Oh my gosh, like they would do crossovers, and that used to make my day. We used to record all the Disney shows that we wanted and Disney movies. Minutemen is a great Disney movie if you haven't watched it. Really amazing. And for some reason me and my sister were like, this is so random because I didn't write this down, but it's just coming out. We used to like role play like random stuff from movies. We used to like go back and listen to music from certain movies 100 times because we had a lot of time to spare, I guess. We were so excited, especially with one, I don't know if it was a crossover, I don't think so, but I remember there was one show where the Jonas Brothers first came out on Hannah Montana. Oh my god. And Jonas Brothers is on here as music because they were my favorite music and my favorite band. And I had a crush on Joe Jonas. I had a crush on Kevin, but I don't know, he got married and then you know, like my husband, how dare you get married. So then I moved on to Joe, and Joe, he was just so cute in that show, and it was just so cute, and we recorded it and we used to watch it over and over. Hannah Montana was such an amazing show as well. They had the Disney crossover, and then they had the Nickelodeon crossover with Jimmy Neutron and Fairly Odd Parents, and that was so cool. I remember we were so amazed. We're like, what? Like, how is that possible that they're crossing over? But it was so cool. So Disney crossover, Nickelodeon crossovers, let me know if you remember that. It was so amazing. The Jonas Brothers, I am so thankful to my boyfriend that he's always getting tickets and stuff. Like, he knows the great deals, where to go, where to get them. So we're always doing fun stuff, which includes a lot of sports events. You know, I'm not into sports, but I mean, it's still fun to go and stuff. And he got us tickets to the Wango Tango, and for the first time ever I got to see the Jonas Brothers, and it was their first performance coming back as a group again, and it was so amazing. They started playing like music from back in the day. Year 3000 is such a great song, and everyone was so into it. I suggest, if you've never been to Wango Tango, I mean, the experience was good. It was just the end of it, oh my gosh, like people were drunk, and trying to get out of the parking lot was a nightmare. It was a nightmare, but the show itself was amazing. You could see like the Jonas Brothers just get me excited, but when they came out, like, oh my gosh, like I never would have thought I was gonna see them in concert. I never really thought about it either, but yeah, the Jonas Brothers are just so cool. Like, I don't know what it is about them. I feel like they're just so genuine, and they don't try to be something they're not. Like, I feel like they're just so cute. And I know they released like their single or something, and they put a video, like old school video of when they were younger, and they were releasing their first like CD, and how excited they were. I feel like they definitely deserve all the like success that they got, because I feel like they're just genuine. I don't know, opposed to other artists that are like pretend to be a persona, but I feel like them, they're like their genuine selves. Like, they're just excited and they care about their fans. So let's move on to toys. So for toys, my favorite thing to play with were Bratz. I love the movie. If you haven't watched Bratz, it's so cute. So Bratz and Barbies were like my thing, but for some reason, like Bratz, like I felt like they were so cool, but Bratz was like, they were my everything. Like, I loved, like, I used to have like this whole like thing of just clothes for them and shoes, and I literally used to like bathe my Bratz for some reason. Like, I was taking them a bath, and then I would like dry their hair, and then I would dress them up any way I wanted, but like make them look fashionable. Memories. But yeah, I used to do that with both my Barbies and my Bratz, and I used to clothe them, and I used to have a little car for them, and they were so fashionable. Like, I love them. Like, I used to like try to dress up like them, like whatever like brat that I liked. I used to like try to find stuff in my clothes that I could feel like stylish like them. Like, I just wanted to know how to dress like them. And then the last thing that I have on here is some erasers that I remember I owned, and the erasers were they're like a lipsticks. I don't know if they still sell them, but they're like lipsticks, but the lipstick part was an eraser. So I remember just memory that I actually had those, and I used to take them to school, and for some reason, like, I always loved like just how it feels to have like a chapstick or something go over my lips. Like, I do it with the chapstick still. Like, I'll literally put it all over, and I used to do that with those erasers. Oh gosh. So as you can imagine, so one day, I don't know if it was a teacher or friend or something, they're like, you have something on your lips. And since I was doing that with an eraser, there were eraser shavings on my lips, because I was like, I don't know why. And yeah, so ever since then, I'm just like, oh no. Ever since then, I never did it again. But yeah, it was just funny memory. It was kind of embarrassing. I put that, so embarrassing. It's just fun to kind of remember where we came from and all the stuff that we used to watch and that used to make us excited as kids. And for me, like, I still love a lot of these things, like the Jonas Brothers music and Game Boys, playing games and stuff. I don't play it as much as I used to, but I'm so happy that I was able to experience all this and we made it to the end. I'm just gonna spray my spray and we'll end it. Can we just talk about this look? Literally, like, when you don't try, that's like when the best ones come out. Like, I really like how it came out. So yeah, so we made it to the end. I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed filming this. This is such a treat to film, and you know, if you want to do it too, it's just so fun to remember, you know, all the memories and stuff from being a kid and what you used to watch. I was like, oh my god, I just like completely forgot about that. And when that thought came to my mind, I was like at a point where I couldn't sleep, so it was at night. And that's kind of when I was thinking about it, and from then on I could not sleep. I only got 4 hours because I was just so excited. Like the shows just kept coming, and I was like, oh my god, I have to write that down. So I put it on my notes on my phone, and I just kept like waking up and putting something else just so I don't forget. And I'm so happy to share all this with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. It was so much fun. Stuff that I used today, everything's gonna be down below, all the names and probably prices. I always forget the prices, but I'll try to put that in, as well as some videos from last week. If you want to give those a watch, they're down there in the description box below. I upload every Tuesday, every Thursday, and every other Sunday. If you are interested in sticking around, that would be amazing. If you want to follow me on my Instagram journey, I'll put my Insta handle right here. I post a lot of finds, makeup shots. This is my last week for my liquid lipstick lottery, so if you want to check those out, go ahead and head over there. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. Like and subscribe. Of course, you don't have to. You are your own person and you make your own decisions, but it wouldn't hurt to give this video a like, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.